Do you think the Democratic Party has got a serious risk of realignment within it, that maybe supporters of Israel that used to be very reliable Democrats are not going to be so reliable anymore?
Well, look, Hugh, I think the big realignment that's taking place is within the Democratic Party, and I think it's very conditional on who Democrats nominate for a lot of these big races, from the presidency on down. A lot of moderate Democrats, a lot of people looking at the kind of rot taking place on the far left, can't support a lot of the anti-Israel candidates that you were talking about. But I don't think they're going to support Donald Trump for president. And I think, even you've always seen, even at times when Republican presidents like George W. Bush have given their support for Israel, Donald Trump as well, his presidency, you don't see a whole lot of movement. The partisanship is pretty sticky. So I think what you're seeing, though, is that you're seeing primary challenges to the squad members. Five of the furthest left anti-Israel lawmakers are facing moderate challenges in the primaries. And I think you're going to see a lot of this intra-party debate and challenging from more moderate folks. But I don't think there's going to be a wholesale movement to the Republican Party.
Wholesale and realignment are different things. I think right now American Jewry votes for Democrats for president on the order of about 75-25. Is that fair, Josh?
Yeah, 70-30, I think, is kind of the high water mark for recent Republican candidates. But yeah, that's Mitt Romney, I think, was sort of if I have my data correct, I think he was one of the strongest Republican nominees in recent history.
And Donald Trump moved the embassy, the American embassy in Israel, from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, backed up the annexation of the Golan Heights, and brought home the Abraham Accords, and was solidly with Israel. Contrast that with the relay race of, the president went right after the attack, and that was good. But since then, it's been a hectoring of the war cabinet, whether it's Tony Blinken, Jake Sullivan, this week it's Lloyd Austin, and then they'll start over again. At some point, don't Democrats who are supporters of Israel, both Jewish and non-Jewish, say, if Kamala Harris becomes president, our support for Israel is in trouble?
Well, I think you kind of laid out the stakes right there, Hugh. Look, President Biden has been, I think, one of the reasons you're not seeing a real realignment or movement away from the Democratic Party at this point is that President Biden has been a very stalwart supporter of Israel, despite the fact that you're having the carping from Sullivan and Blinken and Kamala Harris. I think it's most notable, Hugh, that Kamala Harris has their people leaked the story to Politico last week that she was sort of the voice critical of Israel inside this administration, and she's been, Hugh, as you know, the liaison to the progressive movement throughout the Biden presidency. So I think that, yes, if she was the nominee, I think that would be prompting some serious concern in Democratic circles, and maybe there would be some more slippage. Look, there are a lot of voices, rising voices in the Democratic Party that would be problems if they were the nominee, if they were the standard bearer of the party. But, you look at the polls, Hugh, and the Democratic Party has softened its support of Israel. I think the way I put it is, like, it used to be stalwart, the vast majority of Democrats rock solid behind Israel. Now you have a big mushy middle where, people on the Democratic side don't like, the images of war. They're not rock solid support in behind Israel's ability to do whatever it takes to take out Hamas and putting conditions on, as is the case with a faction of Democrats in the Senate. They're raising concerns about the humanitarian situation in Gaza, whereas the Republican Party is pretty much saying Israel needs to do what it takes, whatever it takes, to make sure Hamas is out of Gaza in line with the Israeli government.